Hello, Jay.
Hi, Sonia. Great to see you. We've been speaking a little bit off camera before for those that don't realise what happened there, but great to see you. The first question I'd like to ask you, Sonia, really is how you got started into art, and were you trained as an artist or self-taught? How did it all begin for you?
Well, I was always interested in art and had it as a hobby, but I went to art college to do fashion design because that was my passion when I was young. Since I was 11 years old, I had wanted to go to St Martin's, but when I went to look round, I preferred Middlesex, so that's where I did my fashion degree. And so I had a lot of experience of designing clothes, and I had my own shop in London making ball gowns and wedding dresses in Bloomsbury for 10 years. It was called Woburn Silks.
So that was the start of, let's say, your first creative venture, if you like. And when did the painting come into play? At what point did that start to be a big part of your life?
Well, I'd always painted as a hobby and met up with friends and always went to an art class to make sure I did it, because you can think you're going to do it and not actually get round to it. So meet up once a week with a friend and sit in Regent's Park or St James Park painting with a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
and then then I had my children. Well, first child was born in London, and then we moved to Saffron Walden, and then after the third child was born, I started painting properly, so to make money rather than as a relaxation. I mean, it was to change the emphasis when I realised that I could, something I could do from home, and I sort of gradually phased out the designing and sewing, and phased in the painting. And I was encouraged by another friend who was doing Cambridge Open Studios, who had children at school with my kids. And so I've been doing Cambridge Open Studios for 17 years consecutively. And then from that, other opportunities grew. So I just developed my style over the years, and got to know more people. And so I know a lot of local artists, because you sort of meet at private views and committee meetings. So there's a whole artist network here, which is great.
I hear what you're saying. Those open studio groups, those art societies, from that point of view, are really worthwhile, because they encourage community within the artists, but also, as you said, you found it as an avenue of finding work, finding commissions, that kind of stuff.
Yes, and finding about other exhibitions and how to promote yourself and seeing their style and seeing what you like. So you're always learning as an art, but it's like any career, I suppose. You're always learning. You never stop learning. You're always looking at other people's work, old and new, old masters, modern work, my children's work. You're always inspired by looking at everything else, and wow, how do they do that? That's amazing. And maybe it filtered through into your style, but at the end of the day, my style sort of stays my style. So even if I try to change it, people always say, "Oh, I can recognise that's your style."
Yeah, I think that's really important for an artist to have that individuality that can be recognised. And as you quite rightly said, even if you maybe change the theme, change direction in what you do, if people can still recognise it's one of your works, which they really can with yours, I think that speaks volumes for you as an artist.
Thank you, Jay.
Some of the artworks that you produced and I've got here, Sonia, I find, just wonderful, so vibrant, so colourful, which is very much your style. But there's one here that we've got on the screen, Castle Street housing.
Yes, well, it was about 13, 14 years ago, and I was doing lots of different styles of painting. I did a successful range of swimming paintings. Then I did that painting of Castle Street in Saffron Walden and sold it very quickly to a friend. And so I said to my husband, I don't know what to do now. And he said, just keep doing more of that. So that sort of launched me onto I do a lot of street scenes and houses, because when I did that painting, I thought it was rather twee, but other people don't think that they are, I mean, the way that I paint them, because they're slightly wonky, they draw you in and they're quite cozy, and I deliberately make them wonky. I never use a ruler. Yeah. And so they were very popular. So I just keep on and on doing more street scenes, because I'm not just because people like them, because I'm drawn to the houses. I like doing houses and people rather than landscapes.
The next painting, Sonia, that we've got on screen here is King's Parade. Again, very distinct to your style. Could you tell us some more about that one?
Yes, well, this painting was the first large painting I did. It was 90 centimetres square acrylic. And I just had this idea to do 4 really big paintings. And that was the first one. And it's been so popular because it's very evocative of Cambridge. And I have done so many, I mean, the original sold a long time ago, but I have done so many prints of it and greetings cards. I even sold a print of it just during lockdown. Somebody bought a limited edition 80 centimetre square one of that, and it's been on my website for 12 years and it's still selling.
Still going, yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's a great picture. It really is good. And that's something that has been a sustainable picture for you in terms of commercial value.
Yes, so it's, I don't know what it is, but people who know my work know it's been around for a long time, but people who haven't seen my work before come along and they pick that one off the website.
Right.
So
I'll just stop you there, Sonia, because I don't know if you heard in the background, that was an ice cream van. And
oh, you've got to go and get one.
I wish. Marvellous Castle Street, which looks really fun, and I want to use the word slightly trippy in a way. Could you tell me about that one?
Well, I saw somebody demonstrate at a craft fair. I saw somebody demonstrating making marbled paper, and I was so fascinated because most of my students, they've made marbled paper at school, but I'd never done it. So it's like, you know, paper you get in bookbinding. And so I bought the kit and made some marbled paper and cut it out to make collages of scenes. So this is the same street as you saw earlier, Castle Street. I've painted Castle Street so many times because the houses are so pretty.
Is that mixed media, or that is all collage?
The whole thing is pieces of marbled paper that I'll just show you my box of marbled paper.
Yeah. Let's go rogue. We go rogue on this this show.
Yeah, so I make a big selection of different marbled paper, and then I pick out the ones that are best for the
right. Yeah.
These are all being chopped up.
That must be really tricky.
Yes. So
I mean, I as you know, I work in collage. But mine's very different because I'm looking for specific images where you're making the images out of these colours, which is fantastic.
Yeah, so here's one. I mean, this is more reminiscent of bookbinding, the fine lines. So I've got a mixture of the blobby ones and the bookbinding type ones.
Right.
So, yeah, I put them all together and create something wacky.
I love that. It's definitely got could I say, a 60s vibe to it in a way, you know? It's got that feel to it, yet still very contemporary.
Well, I don't know if anyone else has ever done paintings, collage made of marbled paper.
To incorporate that and come up with the image that you have
Yes.
is quite remarkable.
Yes. But here's a great one. Look.
Yeah. What's that going to be used for, I wonder?
I don't know. And there's another wacky one. Oh, you've got to get the light on it.
Well, we're seeing the ingredients now.
Yes.
To a new picture, aren't we?
Yes.
We're seeing
Private
the before
view.
shot.
Yes. Yes.
We look forward to the after shot as well.
Yes.
But it wasn't that long ago, a matter of weeks, that you were making PPE for the NHS, specifically scrubs. We can see some images of that on screen. But I'd love you just to tell me how you got involved in that and what started that off.
I found out that the Cambridge and Peterborough Health Trust had a contact. So I contacted them. They sent me the pattern online. You have to print it off and sellotape it together. And through my knowledge of wholesale fabric, I got a roll of 30 meters of fabric and started cutting out. And then I put a notice on my village website saying, would anybody like to help me sew or help donate? Because I put in £100. And so I very quickly, within a week, had lots of volunteers and lots of donations.
Fantastic.
Because lots of people sitting at home and they want to be able to help. They're stuck at home and they might be a bit bored and really want to help. And so the ones who couldn't sew gave a donation, and then it spread to outside the village. And in the end, we had 35 helpers and £1,600 donations. So we ended up making nearly 300 sets of scrubs. That's the top and the bottom, the trousers, and the scrubs bags, because you had to put your scrubs, the NHS workers had to put their scrubs in a bag to wash at home.
Right.
So they didn't get contaminated by someone else's.
Yes.
And also the scrubs caps, we made a few. And because I was concentrating on the clothes, because a lot of people wanted to sew, but they were only confident enough to make the bags, which was great as well. So I ended up cutting out with a few other ladies were cutting out for me, but mostly people were sewing. So we would cut out an overlock, that's the edging of all the pieces, and get the elastic and write the size on the inside, and they would take them away, sew them and bring them back. And I was working 10 hours a day for 5 weeks because people who like sewing were desperate to make more and come back quickly and say, have you got any more for me? Have you got any more? And I was trying really hard to get enough garments ready all the time, cut out for them to take away.
Well, they all look very colourful as well. They all look, you know, so they've got that Sonia Villiers touch.
They have. A lot of women who were isolated, living on their own in lockdown, over 70, so they were taking special precautions. It was that I was the only person they would see face to face all week, and so they'd love to have a chat. So it was a community thing as well.
Well, I think that community spirit is something that's definitely been rekindled, and it's thanks to people like you and your ideas and you know, and what you've done that makes it happen. So congratulations, well done to you.
Thank you, because I made some new friends as well, people who like sewing, who heard about it and got in touch with me. So it wasn't just people I knew, it was a whole new community of people who love sewing.
Brilliant. Well done.
So,
well done.
Yes.
Sonia.
Thank you, Joe.